Welcome back. There are reports which suggest that airfares have fallen in peak months when actually demand is usually the strongest. So average ticket prices made within the 2-week window in October and November were about 25 to 35% lower on several routes. Remember, most of the aviation companies have also reported a weak Q2, and now it appears that in this busy season of Q3, airfares are lower. And does that spell bad news for airline companies and the kind of numbers they're likely to report in the December quarter? Mayur Milak, the senior research analyst at Indianivesh Securities, now joins us on the phone line. Mayur, afternoon. How are you reading this sharp drop seen in airfares?
Hi. Yeah, so, yes, I think there are reports that yields have kind of softened, but I wouldn't really know whether it is into the range of 25-30% YOY. I think that is pretty sharp, if at all that is true. Our sense was that, yields were down in the range of about 10 to 15%. Having said that, we've also seen that, your crude costs have actually gone up in the near term, so shouldn't be a great Q3 if this trend is to be followed.
Yeah, that's true. From a consumer point of view, Mayur, I was wondering whether I've missed out on the opportunity of booking these last-minute tickets, because we're getting the prices down 25 to 30%. You need to be quite lucky, I guess, out there. But as we speak, in fact, Interglobe Aviation, the stock that's seen a correction from the recent peak, that one's moving higher. So just telling my director to pull up the intraday chart out there. Do you all have coverage on Interglobe Aviation, and what's your view on the stock?
Yeah, so we do have a coverage on Indigo and SpiceJet. See, my sense is that at least as far as the industry thing goes, one thing is for sure that the traffic growth has kind of, really surprised more in the recent, where you've already seen that be in the sub 5% category. If costs don't really turn up favorable, then of course you are not really seeing a very strong Q3 performance. Having said that, we have a sell call on Indigo at this point with a price target of 1300, and we have a new accumulate call on SpiceJet with a price target of 130.
130, okay.
Okay, 1300 target price on Interglobe and 130 on SpiceJet. But Mayur, even if we go with what your checks are suggesting, that yields are down about 10 to 15% in Q3 so far, what is the reason? Is it purely on account of poor demand? Do you sense that gets worse as we approach the December season? And what does this throw up in terms of Q3 numbers, given the rise in crude prices?
I think yes, if you ask me, I think one certainly got to do with weaker demand growth. We haven't really seen a strong volume growth as far as the passenger traffic goes. So I think that would be playing key. While of course in the recent con call, both SpiceJet and Indigo did mention that, that they have really lowered their targeted capacity addition. So Indigo came down from 30 to 25 for the year. And SpiceJet was supposed to receive the new 737 MAX, which they haven't so far. So that has halted their kind of capacity growth also to the aggressive. I think they were initially planning to do about 70-80%, now coming down to about 35-40%. So yes, while this has actually played in favor, the surprising part is that it has not really reflected on the yields positively, which is where the whole worry is. In fact, in the recent con call, the management did indicate that the 0 to 15-day bucket, which has bookings of almost 60% of the total flow, already seems to be under pressure, even in Q3, which is supposedly the best quarter for the aviation industry.
Okay, all right, Mayur, thanks so much for joining in, Mayur, and in fact giving us your quick take in terms of those aviation stocks. In the last few minutes, we saw a bit of a spurt on Interglobe Aviation, and now it seems the stock is cooling down. It went all the way to around 1,475 odd, and from that peak, in fact, we did see a bit of a cool off out there. But let's get to a CNBC TV18 exclusive then. The chairman and CEO of ABB